Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today. At Acasis, innovation drives us. Since 2008, we've been creating cutting-edge technology products that make your life easier. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. From gourmet snacks to unique finds, each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.
Sir and ma'am, madam, it is the Cam Show on this Monday morning. It's powered by Rogue Media Sports, brought to you by Mully Box. Mike Hamilton's Mully Box. We got a big show, as always, for you today. We are going to have Pete Souza. Pete the Meat Souza will be joining to talk a little Joel Embiid and how that all affects the Celtics. Plus, speaking of the Celtics, Colin Cowherd going back to the well of this NBA media narrative of how boring Jayson Tatum is, and like whatever, but does that really mean anything when push comes to shove? We'll talk about that, and we will talk about a potential new development in the Patriots draft targets, both with the measuring of Will Campbell's arms at the combine, but also what might happen in the picks in front of them, which might pave the way for a generational superstar. They might fall ass backwards into a generational superstar. But starting where we start, we bring in the host of the Pete Souza Show, ESPN's own, Rogue Media Sports' own, Inside the 12's own, Pete the Meat Souza. I know he is way into the documentary premiering tonight.
Oh, I can't wait, dude.
So this is not the last you'll hear from Pete this week on this show, I'm guessing. We will have some reaction to that. But I do want to talk to you about what was, maybe still is, your team, the Philadelphia 76ers, Pete, big Philly guy. And we've talked about this guy a few times this year, and you've talked a lot about him off the air. We'll talk some Joel Embiid here. He gets shut down for the season over the weekend. It's kind of buried on a Friday afternoon news dump of like, yeah, actually, we're done with him for this year. And I saw, like, the first headline I saw was Joel Embiid shut down for the season, halting Sixers playoff chances. I'm like, they're 21-38. This didn't change anything.
I looked that up after I saw that headline. I was like, wait, how far back are they? They're like, dude, they have.
I'm like way up at the top of the East, so I don't really know what's going on down there, like the play-in stuff. But I'm like, I don't know if this was 15 years ago in the East, you could get in like 5 games under. But
I'm not going to steal anything from the great Stephen A. Smith. I will just borrow. The Eagles won 20 games this year. The 76ers have won 18, or vice versa. The Eagles, yeah. I think that's it. Yeah,
Eagles won 18.
The Eagles have, up until
21.
Yeah. So the Eagles have won more games than the. I mean, it's a joke, dude. No.
Well, not more if they won 18 and the Sixers have won 20.
Okay, that's okay.
But it is embarrassing. It's embarrassing nonetheless. Per capita, I mean, the winning percentage is way off. Yeah. And I was sitting in there in that studio in the summer when they got Paul George, and I don't know how much you remember this, Pete, but I was like, am I the only one who doesn't get this Paul George thing?
Dude, I was with you.
Here we are.
When you said that, and I remember, like, dude, I couldn't agree anymore with Cam. Like, no, man, you were spot on, and I was never on board with that. There's a reason he was available, and the Sixers are a mess. And the Embiid thing, really, the Sixers came to a fork in the road in 2019 after they lost to Toronto, and it was just really as simple as, you remember that last second shot Kawhi Leonard hit in Game 7, and the organization, and again, I wasn't there, but all reporting leads to it was like, okay, you're going to go with Ben Simmons or Jimmy Butler, right? And so you go with Ben Simmons, whatever. So, and then the next year, Ben Simmons just like chokes like you've never seen before.
Doesn't want to take layups.
Yeah.
Passing and open layups. Yeah.
Like the tragic Johnson back to the back. But see, Magic had those awful, NBA Finals against the Celtics, but like he shows resilience, right? Comes back. Ben Simmons has that awful, I guess it was a second round playoff exit against the Hawks, and he's supposed to shoot a layup. He's wide open. He can't shoot it. He passes it. Like, he never, ever recovered from that. And off the floor is the biggest issue because it's clear Embiid can play, right? He's a 7-time All-Star, MVP. The issue is
MVP 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Does that not feel like 6 years ago? It technically, it wasn't even 2 years ago.
It was less than 2 years ago. Yeah. And we were kind of had your boys on the ropes for a minute, right? We got you to a Game 7.
Led that series 3-2, won home.
But that was the end for the Sixers when they lost that game to the Celtics. And when you hear the stuff like early in the season, right? Like, that's so true. like when the guy at the top of your roster is late all the time and isn't showing up and doesn't care a whole lot, like that, you can't have that, because the rest of the team is like, even if there's guys like Tyrese Maxey who want to come in, lock in, and give 150%, like when your main guy is out doing whatever he wants, like, and I'm not saying he's smoking crack, but clearly he's not following the rules, right? That be on time.
You know,
right?
You know what it would be like? You know what? I love a forced analogy. I'm going to throw in a sports analogy for you. It would be like if Vince Vaughn's character from Rudy was the best player on the team, and Rudy was the second best player on the team.
Callahan.
Yes. So when sure, whatever. Yeah, I think O'Hara's right. Yeah. So Embiid is this guy who shows up late and just doesn't give. And here's Tyrese Maxey, younger guy, really good player, but also he gets seen as like Tommy Tryhard when Joel Embiid is just like showing up late. You know what I mean? And so it's like that's a terrible dynamic there, and that's kind of what the Sixers are right now.
It's an awful dynamic, and the Sixers like stink from the top to the bottom. Like Daryl Morey needs to get fired. There is going to be a major shakeup. I can tell you right now, because Magic Johnson's never had more of Josh Harris's ear, especially the two of them are running, the Commanders together. You look at the success that they had. I just feel like some major changes are coming. I'm a little disappointed in Nick Nurse. I know he was put in a tough decision, but clearly he's not the guy. And this is just an awful organization, honestly. And I hate to say this, but it's like a woke organization. Like it's just like really hard to get on board with the Sixers right now. I'm sorry. It just is for me. Even if they were winning, it's hard. And I talked last week on my show, when I worked for the Sixers, it was not forever ago. The last season I was there was 2009. We were making the playoffs. Mm-hmm. It was Iguodala, like when he was like the focal point, and the crowd still embodied some semblance of what the city is, right? Now it's not even like that anymore. It's just so freaking wine and cheese from top to bottom. There's no grit in the fan base. There's no grit in the team. I could care less.
Sorry to interrupt, but I do that a lot. Does that reflect on Embiid a little bit? Because here's my kind of thought here, and this isn't necessarily Embiid's fault. There are a lot of things that are his fault. But I think when it comes to especially the NBA, when you get in a situation where Embiid's your best player, and even when he's playing well, he's hurt all the time, he's kind of bitchy to the media, there is some of that, right? And then Sixers fans are like, he's our guy. He's our savior. We're going to defend him at every turn when it comes to media narratives or whatever the hell. Does that then morph them into more of that wine and cheese crowd where they're just willing to put up with more shit and make more excuses?
No, because
I'm going there. It was kind of weird how I said it.
Well, no, look, I think some of the decisions made around the organization that kind of took care of itself.
Okay.
I don't think that's Embiid. I think that it's much easier for these fans. I mean, if your team sucks, you know the deal. Like the Patino Celtics, right? When the bottom was coming out, like they're not going to the games. You know what I mean? Like people just aren't going to support him.
By the way, because I know you love Patino, I'm going to interrupt you again because this is funny. A kid I went to high school with now lives in New York City. He's 3 years younger than me. We played lacrosse together. He lives in New York City. He went to St. John's game the other day and had all this Patino stuff on his Instagram story. And this kid, 3 years younger than me, I said, your generation doesn't know what Rick Pitino did to the Celtics. Your generation, you have no idea. All right, continue.
Well, it's very true.
Killed, sent him back years. Yeah.
I can't wait to see like that part of the documentary, by the way. I mean, that'll come at some point. But when fans just don't go to the games anymore. Like a buddy of mine was send me a message like $2 for upper level tickets and $10 for lower level at the Sixers.
You're kidding.
On secondhand sites, yeah. So nobody cares. Nobody wants to go, and that's what the organization has become.
And it's not like the Flyers are great or anything. It's not like they've just got something else to do.
But it's here we go again with
I get you.
Every year it's like here we go again. There's no passion from a city that is extremely passionate. That's when you're screwed. I mean, the stuff early in the season with Embiid when they had that players only meeting, and honestly, some sucker leaks it to the media. Like, that's just as shitty as Joel Embiid's behavior.
Mm-hmm.
That you'd drop so much information from a players only meeting. But that's all you needed to know about the Sixers coming into this season. And it's a shame. And Embiid, look, your best ability is your availability. He's never available, dude. He's not. 500 and I think 450 games he's played in his career. I think he's missed somewhere around 400. I mean,
he's about to potentially go for surgery number 3 on the same knee.
Yeah, and there's the organization, guys. Like, again, I hate to be like such a negative nabobber, but like, we can't figure out what's going on with this guy, like surgery wise. Like, we're talking about the same shit now in March of 2025 that we were talking about in May of 2024. Like, what's up with this dude? Like, should we get him surgery or not?
And if he had this injury, why is he playing in the summer?
Why is he playing in the Olympics, dude? Yeah. So whatever.
It's gotta be frustrating, man.
It really sucks. But honestly, it's not frustrating if you don't care. And I have totally stopped caring. That's what they've done to me. I'm totally desensitized. Like, I remember when I moved to Waco, I can remember when it was 2019 when they won that first playoff series. That was a big series for this, or for the whole fan base. It was like, they got to the playoffs. They beat the Heat in the first round. I was like so pumped, posting about it on Instagram, like just loving it. I was gut wrenching when Kawhi Leonard hit that shot in that Game 7, and it's just my level of excitement and passion hasn't been the same since then.
That is wild. Not just like from the 2019, but like they were going all in this summer. Like, I thought it was stupid, but that's what the Paul George move was for the fan base, was like, here we go. We've got the big 3 now, right? Embiid, George, and Maxey. Let's go for this thing. And here we are months later, not years later, but this feels like the deterioration of, 5 years of being non-competitive.
And the process sucked. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Like, what they did there was teach an organization and a bunch of young guys how to be fucking losers. And Joel Embiid is the poster boy for that movement. And it was like,
now they're being led by a loser.
Well, or somebody who thinks it's okay to play when you can't, and that's I'll say this last point. I did a Arizona State and Utah on Saturday, and I was talking to the guy, the analyst, Corey Williams. He played at Arizona. Good player at Arizona. He's kind of like old school. And I was like, what is the deal? Like, before the game, like, another one of Arizona State's best players, like, isn't going to play because like something's wrong with him. And another guy's like not going to play. And it seems like nobody ever fucking plays anymore. And I'm like, yo, like, what is up? And he's like, it goes back to what you and I just talked about, Cam. He's like, if you don't have a guy at the top of your roster who is like, is at practice first, is working out, getting shots up all the time. Like, if that's not your guy at the top of your roster, you got no chance now because too many guys are getting paid. There's too many long-term concerns. Like, if I play on this bad ankle and I'm Jaden Quaintance and I could be the number 5 pick in the 2026 draft, if I just go on ice now until that draft happens, why am I going to play? You know what I mean? It's
interestingly enough, he's got a lot of Embiid in him as a player. I don't know what his attitude's like, but like play style.
Yeah, no, totally. And so we're in a really odd space now for a lot of these teams because, and I think keep your eye in the NCAA tournament in particular, like the teams that have the guys that are the dogs at the top of the roster, I would look for them to be the teams that gut it out and win a championship.
I have 2 important Embiid questions for you as we react to this news that he shut down for the season. And really, from a Celtics standpoint, I thought so in August, but it took till March for a lot of other NBA fans to realize this. It's like, that's one less thing to worry about. And not just this year, but probably for years to come. But 2 questions for you about Joel Embiid that are really important. First one is, will he ever play for the Sixers again?
Yeah.
And this isn't the second question, but I do want to follow up with this. I saw an article this weekend, and I should have it in front of me. I can't remember who wrote it, where it was from, but it was about how the Sixers should have traded Joel Embiid last year. That's one full season removed from the MVP. They should have traded him. And the one they point out is the Knicks, that there was some real interest from the Knicks. And they end up, of course, sending a ton to Minnesota to get Karl Anthony Towns. It feels like a hindsight 2020 kind of move. Very easy to say in March of 2025 that you should have traded him in June of 24, July of 24. Do you think that was even on the table for the Sixers?
No, because, well, if it was, it wasn't very long because what's his face? Daryl Morey. He convinced Josh Harris and those guys, according to really good reporting, to sign that crazy contract with Embiid and give him all that money, which is why I think you'll see him play for the Sixers again, and is why I think that he probably wasn't like that trade wasn't very realistic for the Sixers to execute. One, because I think Morey, like you said, was all in on this idea of these three, and two, because the contract is so huge. I don't know how you make that deal.
It's gonna be really tough now. Really tough now. We are in year one of that deal. Second big question to kind of close out my thoughts on this.
Yes, I am watching Running Point with Kate Hudson. Good.
Thank
show.
God.
Okay.
Thank God. We've talked about the problems that Embiid's brought to this locker room and what he's done to this franchise, so to speak, but also we touched on the process and the breeding of losers, right? So with all of this taken into account, Pete, will we think of Joel Embiid as a tragic figure years from now? The guy with all the talent, but had a ton of injuries, didn't have a good organization around him. Do we see him as a Bill Walton in the future?
Well, I was Bill Walton is not actually tragic in a sense where he won a title when he was the MVP in Portland in '77, right? Yep. And he really did kind of salvage some special years in Boston.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't, but I say that to say he won't even reach that level. I think he's somewhere between Bill Walton and Sam Bowie, because there's no championship with him at all. I mean, not even close, right? Yeah. Never made to a conference finals, I don't think.
Right.
So he's got no business being in the Bill Walton discussion, but he's not as bad as like a Sam Bowie. Like the guy won an MVP.
Yep. So that's an interesting because we know a lot about the history of the NBA. It's tough to think of an in between, right? Like you can talk about a Grant Hill who had a ton of injuries and his career never really became what it should have, but he is in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, he's better than like Ralph Sampson.
Right. Ralph Sampson might be a good one. Although Ralph Sampson did win an MVP, we're talking about a guy who does have a great prime when you look at it in Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
And will probably make the Hall of Fame because everyone makes the Basketball Hall of Fame, but
he probably will. Yeah.
Am I wrong? Like he'll make it. Yeah.
Hey, I can't wait till the party we're going to have when Pete Rose gets in.
Oh, sure. That's going to be a big deal on the camp show. Oh, one last total non sequitur question.
Documentary again this weekend. All right, go ahead.
One last complete non sequitur. Donald Trump's going to put him in the Hall of Fame. I think that's real. I think that's going to happen. Remember when that one time where we talked about like the greatest athletes, pro athletes from whatever college?
Yeah.
Can I ask you who you would put for Washington State? I'm putting you way on the spot here.
Okay.
I can give you some options if you'd like. I can give you the big three that I did.
Okay, I'll do football. Drew Bledsoe.
Yep.
Basketball. Let me see some basketball options.
There's really like one.
Hold on.
He didn't have a memorable time there, but he's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Jesus. Brandon Roy?
No, he played at Washington.
Okay.
He's from the state of Washington. Maybe that's what this guy plays for the Mavericks right now. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's won 4 NBA championships.
Who are we talking about?
His dad played in the NBA. I think he was number one pick in the draft.
Oh, Michael Thompson?
His son would be
Clay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the baseball player I'd have for there is John Olerud, which is pretty good. But can I raise you an even better one? Because I found this out this morning, and I know you'll appreciate this.
Go ahead.
It links back with Philly. Maybe the best athlete ever to go to Washington State for 1 year as an exchange student in the category of boxing. Ivan Drago, baby.
Stop it.
As an exchange student at Washington State. Look at him.
Holmgren went to Washington State
for a year. First off, if you had told me this was Andrei Kirilenko, I would have never batted an eye.
Do what?
I don't know. But could you imagine going from, I think he's Swedish. I don't think he's like actual Soviet Union.
No, he's dude. Hey,
but could you imagine going to your only taste of America being Pullman, Washington?
Look, dude, I think the guy indulged.
It looks very nice.
I'm in Hollywood.
Sure. At this point, but he hadn't done it by then. He is Swedish, by the way.
As far as I'm concerned, that guy is a steroid shooting commie, right? From the USSR.
And what's very ironic is of the two actors in that, one of them was on steroids, and it wasn't Dolph. Anyway, but he took his own hits. Dude, Sly did.
Stallone almost died in that movie.
Yeah.
The fact.
I think Apollo actually did. Anyway, that's Pete Souza. Pete Souza's show, ESPN. He thinks Joel Embiid will play again for the Sixers, but he will not play in a conference finals for the Sixers and probably won't be playing in the playoffs against the Celtics anytime soon.
You know what he might be doing?
What?
He might be ring chasing in like 5 years.
That's a good point. We've gone way too long in this already, but that is a point I wanted to bring up. I think he's going to become that. I think he's going to bounce around, which whatever, like go for it if that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, he's a great guy on the end of your bench. He might be like the best guy on the end of your bench, but the worst guy at the front of it.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of like a good example of it. Like I know Tracy McGrady did it a little bit.
Dwight Howard. Scotty says Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard, that's a good one. Because like Karl Malone is obviously way better.
Zach said Karl Malone, but you're shitting on that.
Yeah, I just think Karl Malone was the second leading scorer of all time when he retired.
By the way, has everyone seen Vernon Maxwell on All the Smoke? Because everyone needs to see it. Everyone needs to watch that. It is the funniest piece of real entertainment you will see outside of Shane Gillis on SNL and the couple of beer segment.
That was pretty good. I also forgot this was your show. Pete, thanks so much for joining.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yep.
We are gonna talk some Celtics coming up without Pete, but he is going to appreciate the segment, I believe, because we're going to be shitting on Matt Mosley's friend. Colin Cowherd is amongst many that thinks Jayson Tatum is too boring, but the point he makes is actually really interesting. Let's talk about it next on the Kim Show.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Unlock a world of convenience with Mullybox, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. Unlock your full potential with Onnit, your go-to for premium supplements, fitness gear, and wellness essentials. Whether you're training hard, recovering faster, or just looking to feel your best, Onnit has the tools you need to perform at your peak. Visit Onnit, that's ONNIT.com, and elevate your mind, body, and spirit today. At Rolls Rolla, we don't just sell wallpaper, we create cohesive, cozy spaces. Our deep understanding of design means every pattern, color, and texture is carefully chosen to complement your home. Plus, we use advanced technology and water-based inks for vibrant, eco-friendly prints, ensuring a healthier environment. Visit rollsrolla.com to transform your space today. That's ROLLSROLLA.com today.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
At Tusane's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Tusanes.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.
Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
Calling all Marvel fans, get Marvel Unlimited and unlock over 30,000 comics featuring your favorite heroes and iconic stories, all available to read anytime, anywhere. Whether you're into classic tales or the latest adventures, there's something for everyone. Don't miss out. Head to marvel.com/unlimited today and start your Marvel journey now. At Angel Bliss, we believe every parent's journey is a beautiful adventure. Our mission is to make it joyful and stress-free with thoughtful, safe, and innovative products. Born from a love for family, we promise peace of mind for parents and comfort for babies. From playtime to bedtime, every Angel Bliss product is designed with care, reliability, and a style to nurture the special bond between parent and child. Angel Bliss, creating happy memories, one baby at a time. Visit us at angelbliss.us. Angel Bliss.
We're back on the Cam Show. It's Monday. Cam Stewart with you. Zach Burke keeping us on the air. Thank you to Pete for hopping in, talking a little Sixers. The Sixers thing, it's done. It's dead. And it kind of sucks only because I really like when the Celtics play them in the playoffs. It's got some intensity, and it's an automatic Celtics victory. Like, I love it. It's fun to go through Philadelphia to get to where you need to go. But unfortunately, we can't have that anymore. It's too bad. Too bad. They're going to, I don't see how they go forward like this. I don't know what you get for Paul George. I agree with Pete. I don't think they're getting rid of Joel Embiid, even if it's the right thing to do. So they're in some trouble. They are really in some trouble. But talking about our Celtics, that's what we focus on here on the Cam Show. Colin Cowherd had an interesting take on Jayson Tatum over the weekend. And that was actually the same take that everyone in the NBA media has, whether it's ESPN or Fox Sports 1 or whatever the hell you watch. He thinks Jayson Tatum's boring. Okay. We've been hearing this narrative for years. Like, what? I don't really get it, but this seems to be something that drives ratings all the time. And it continues to be a talker. Here's what Colin Cowherd had to say about the Celtic star.
Let's close our eyes. Close our eyes. Think about Magic Johnson. You can see the smile. Think about Michael. You can see that cocky grin. Think about LeBron. You can see the imagery. Pre-game, chalk. You can close your eyes and there's images with stars. Close your eyes now and do it with Tatum. I don't see anything. 26 a night? I don't see anything.
This is bar none my favorite Jayson Tatum argument ever. Ever. Just close your eyes. Close your eyes with me. Magic Johnson's a better player because I can see him smile. By the way, Magic Johnson, of course, is a better player. But like the idea that I mean, deconstructing this, the idea that Jayson Tatum is not a star because you can't close your eyes and picture something about him is odd to me, interesting, intriguing, whatever. But also the fact that here's where the argument to me becomes hilarious. because you're trying to bring Jayson Tatum down. You're trying to say he's not the face of the league. And yet here you are comparing him to Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, and LeBron James. Like already the argument is being shut down to a certain extent because nobody is saying that Jayson Tatum is on the caliber of those three players. Nobody. What they are saying is he's one of the best players in the league. In fact, I don't even think anyone's arguing from the Celtics side that he's the face of the league. I don't think anybody's arguing that. And yet here we have every week as Jayson Tatum's numbers get better and his season gets better and his resume gets better, all we hear is, well, Jayson Tatum can't be the face of the league because of this, because he doesn't shoot in the clutch, because he wore a Kobe armband, because he's corny. And now it's because I can't close my eyes and picture his smile. Seriously? That's what we're doing now? Magic was the face of the league because he won 5 championships. Michael Jordan was the face of the league because he was the best player of all time and he won 6 championships. And LeBron is the second best player ever and wins all these championships. He's the all-time leading scorer. It's not because he throws fucking chalk up in the air. So now we're just making up arguments. Like, what even is this? We can't say that he's not a good player. We can't say that he doesn't do it in the clutch. We can't say that he hasn't done it at the highest level, aka winning an NBA championship. We can't say that anymore. So what we're going to say is I can't close my eyes and picture his smile or his pregame routine. What? What kind of argument is that? Like, if you just had that argument with your friends at the bar, which I know Cowherd hasn't done in probably 40 years. He's just been living it up in LA in a giant studio. Probably doesn't even know where the bars are anymore. But if you had that argument with your buddies in the bar, they'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? You've totally lost the plot. Like, I think Jayson Tatum's a good player because he averages 26 a game. And he led his team to an NBA title last year, one of the great teams of this century, and led them in every statistical category. But golly, damned if he doesn't smile the way Magic Johnson did. What the fuck kind of argument is that? That's all. Like, again, not even Celtics fans are saying he's the face of the league. In fact, if anything, the question becomes who will be the face of the league in a few years when there's no more LeBron, no more Curry, no more Durant. And we're not even saying Tatum's going to be that. All Celtics fans are really saying is y'all should probably stop shitting on Tatum because his resume is pretty damn good. And it's actually pretty close to what LeBron's was at this point in his career and what Michael's was at this point in his career as he turns 27 today. And I don't think he's going to be either of those players. I really don't. But it's just crazy. Like every week, there's some new narrative. It's nothing about his numbers. It's nothing about what his team has accomplished. It's nothing about how he leads or how much he plays. If you look at someone like Embiid, it's just about this just random, intangible bullshit that nobody can measure, right? Like a couple of weeks ago, it was Brandon Jennings just saying, oh, he's the softest Celtics superstar. Like, what does that even mean? Who's the 4th softest Celtics superstar? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's what we have come to with Tatum. They just don't want to give him praise so bad that this is what it comes to. And again, it's like, whatever. Like, those who watch the NBA know that Jayson Tatum is one of the 5 best players in the league. Like, people know that. But then you get all these people who just live online, these burner accounts and NBA Twitter people. And this is all the shit they just share with themselves. It's like they literally take human shit, they put it on the grill, and they just feed it to each other. And that's what it is. That's what the Jayson Tatum discourse is. And when I was watching this from Cowherd, the only thing I could think of was, I'll bet he didn't say this about Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was always underappreciated, right? And one of the 25 greatest players of all time, right? And was not exciting, right? Not exciting in the way he played or the way he carried himself. He was boring as holy hell. You know, he had no style. He didn't give anything to the media, right? And he was the linchpin of a dynasty team. And I thought, there's just no way Cowherd has ever said this about Tim Duncan, because I'm sure that might have been the narrative in his career. I wasn't really around for Duncan's prime. I kind of got the tail end of his prime. But by that point, he had won so much that it was like, what are they going to say about him? He's one of the great winners ever. He's one of the great players ever. And then he became known. He went from being the guy who couldn't be the face of the league, like what they're saying about Jayson Tatum, to he's done all this winning, to then being, why didn't we appreciate Tim Duncan more? Tim Duncan's one of the most underappreciated stars in the history of the league. And it was like there was no moment really for this discourse, for this NBA media to really like get on their knees and blow Tim Duncan. Okay. It went from, boring, system player with all these nice players around him. The same things we're saying about Jayson Tatum to my NBA championship number 4. We were just like, oh shit, man, he's underrated. And so I was like trying to find something where Cowherd was praising Tim Duncan, and I couldn't find it. Instead, what I found was 3 years ago. This is May of 22, and ironically enough, when the Bucks are going through a series with the Celtics. And he's talking about Giannis, and he's like, Joy Taylor's throwing at him, Giannis or who? Giannis or Kobe, Giannis or Curry, and Giannis or Durant. He's picking Giannis for all of them. Like he loves Giannis. And then it gets to Giannis and Tim Duncan. And here's what he has to say.
Giannis or Tim Duncan?
It's close, but not as close as you think, and here's why. First of all, Duncan had a lot more help. Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and maybe the best coach of his generation. But Duncan only averaged over 25 once. Duncan was the great fundamental, but he's not going to give you 40 and 50-point games in big spots. Duncan had one season averaging over 25. Giannis has averaged over that for 5 straight years. So I think Giannis is going to have an 8-year ceiling. Now, he may not be. I think these dynasties are going to look the exact same. In fact, Budenholzer comes from San Antonio.
Yeah.
So much there for something. Look at Joy. She's like, whoa, you're actually saying this. You're picking Giannis over. And it's just, this is kind of classic how NBA is discussed, which is, whatever. But he says Duncan averaged more than 25 once. He's not going to give you 40 or 50 in a big game like Giannis did, which, by the way, Tatum has done more than a few times. People don't like to remember that. And so it's not, I went to find if Colin Cowherd could have his foot in his mouth by talking about how great Tim Duncan is and shitting on Jayson Tatum. But what I found is that Colin Cowherd, a guy who I kind of respect, by the way, maybe he just doesn't know ball that much. Maybe he just doesn't know, because at the end there, he says, I think these dynasties are going to be the same. The Bucks are going to finish with 1 championship in Giannis's career. And Tim Duncan got 5. So it's not the same. They not like us, as the kids would say. And so I think Cowherd just might not know ball. But what this all comes down to, the overarching point here, is that Jayson Tatum is a top 5 or 6 player in the NBA. Nobody actually is clamoring for him to be the face of the NBA. So you're starting an argument out of nothing. It's a total straw man. Like no one was even arguing it. And you're just arguing against it. But the real takeaway here is that they can't point to Tatum's stats. They can't point to Tatum's accomplishments. They can't point to Tatum's, lack of leadership or attitude. They can't point to any of that. So they just have to say, when I close my eyes, I see Magic Johnson smile. As my friend Jay Harang would say, we don't see Colin knocking one out under the desk, but it's certainly implied. But that's what this is now. You can't look at any of his stats or his accomplishments and say he sucks because of this, or he's not as good as you think because of this. You have to say he's not as good as you think because he doesn't have a grin, because he doesn't throw chalk up into the air. And honestly, as a Celtics fan, I'll live with that. I will live with that. As a Patriots fan, I find it very tough to live these days. And they might have just got dealt a serious NFL draft blow. We'll talk about that next on the Cam Show.
Shades is your trusted partner in stage lighting, offering a wide range of high-quality, innovative products since 2015. With designs that cater to all needs, fast delivery, and affordable prices, we provide exceptional customer service to ensure your satisfaction. With warehouses across the globe and sales in over 100 countries, Sheds is quickly becoming one of the most recognized names in the stage lighting industry. Visit shehds.com today to discover top-tier stage lighting solutions and become part of our global network.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. Developed by our mad developer Alex and tested by riders, our products are made by riders for riders. Discover more at us.muc-off.com, where we break the mold to bring you the best in bike care.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels, our rebounders improve accuracy, control, and technique in both sports. Built with premium materials for durability and ease of use, they're ideal for training anywhere, anytime. Whether you're perfecting your soccer game or sharpening your lacrosse skills, Open Goal USA has you covered. Visit OpenGoalUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Chapellex is a full-category shapewear brand dedicated to providing women with exceptional comfort and support. We offer thoughtfully designed solutions that blend style with functionality, empowering women to feel confident and at ease every day. Chapellex is redefining what it means to have a perfect body. Our mission celebrates body positivity, embracing every shape and size, because true beauty lies in authenticity. Visit shapellx.com today and join a movement towards self-love, acceptance, and confidence.
Indulge in Blum's luxurious Lotus flower rolls. The green Lotus roll bursts with a caramel apple flavor, while the blue Lotus roll offers a smooth berry cream sensation. With our Crush for Flavor technology, enjoy an instant burst of natural, intense flavor anytime you desire. Elevate your experience with the finest creations nature has to offer. Explore the full collection at blumleaf.com. That's BLUUMLEAF.com. Blumleaf. Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GOLFPARTNERUSA.com. Golf Partner. At Terrapin Ridge Farms, they believe in the joy of effortless entertaining. Inspired by CEO Mary O'Donnell's mom and her legendary holiday parties, they've crafted a line of gourmet foods that turn any meal into a celebration. From savory jams to mustards, aiolis, and more, their products are made with love, bringing unforgettable flavors to your table. Whether it's a casual get-together or a special occasion, they make it easy to impress. Terrapin Ridge Farms, where great food and great memories come together. Visit them at terrapinridge.com. Terrapin Ridge.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Welcome back. We call it the Cam Show. It's powered by Rogue Media Sports Network, live on YouTube, high noon Eastern time every day, and then wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Cam Stewart. Scotty Swingler keeping us on the air today, and we're talking a little Patriots after a whole lot of Celtics through the first two segments. But it was kind of a weird weekend, actually, for the Patriots' perspective in the number 4 overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. We wrapped up the Combine. The one thing that I was looking at was Will Campbell's arms. This has been much ado about the arms. Is it a reach for Will Campbell? He doesn't have the arm length to play tackle. It's got to start with 33. If he hits the 33 inches, he can play tackle in this league. No matter how he plays, he's got to hit that. Well, bad news, guys. It started with Kevin McHale's number, not Larry Bird's. 32 and 5/8. Uh-oh, not spending the top 5 pick on a guard, I'll tell you that. Although his tape is really good. I don't like going this direction, but sometimes you got to. Same way Joe Thuney is a Hall of Fame guard, but you saw him playing tackle for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. It wasn't pretty. These things are real. These measurements, there's a reason why we have them. So Will Campbell, doubt he's going number 4. Just really doubt it, even though from what it sounds like the Patriots people like him. Instead, there's a shakeup potentially in the top 4 because now there are rumors that the Giants will be willing to trade up to number 1 with Tennessee so that they can ensure that they go and pick Cam Ward for them to be their quarterback. There is such a consensus now amongst kind of the analysts around the league and the people in power around the league that Shedeur Sanders is way behind Cam Ward in an already pretty weak NFL draft for quarterbacks. But they say everyone thinks Cam Ward is the consensus number 1 guy, and that it's a pretty sizable gap between he and Shedeur, and that potentially Shedeur could be closer to Jackson Dart than he is to Cam Ward. Now, that would be fascinating because then you play out the scenarios in your head. Okay, Giants trade up to number 1, and Cleveland, if you're Cleveland, it's like you still kind of have to get a quarterback. Like you don't have an option, right? Like Tennessee, you can maybe try one more year of the Will Levis thing or get some kind of Jacoby Brissett type off the street and have Abdul Carter, the best player in the draft. But if you're the Browns, who are not as terrible as their record was this year, you'd think, but still not very good, you're like, we kind of need quarterback. We need franchise quarterback here. So would they take that big a reach of Shedeur at number 2? That would be nuts to me, but it could happen. In that case, Tennessee does what the Celtics did with Jayson Tatum in the 17 draft. They're like, ooh, we want to draft this guy at 1, but we know these teams behind us are willing to trade up and get somebody else at 1, so we'll just draft our guy at 3. And they can get Abdul Carter at 3. And in that case, the Patriots, Heisman hunting for Travis Hunter, boy, would that be something. That would be, to me, the best case scenario. The best case scenario for the Patriots. In fact, USA Today, which is actually one of my first checks. I didn't have to go through 10 of these mock drafts. It's one of my first checks for mock drafts. They have the Patriots getting Travis Hunter at number 4. They have the Giants not trading. They have the Titans taking Cam Ward, Cleveland taking Abdul Carter, and the Giants taking Shedeur Sanders. As much as I just kind of shat on Shedeur there, and as much as I talked about the Browns needing a quarterback, I don't think that's that crazy. I think the other scenario is more likely, but I don't think that's that crazy. And in that case, it would fall into your lap. But the reason why I picked the other scenario, which is Cleveland being forced to pick Shedeur after the Giants trade up to number 1, is I don't everything we've seen says the Titans would probably be willing to pick Carter number 1. If they don't, then yeah, that will open up something for the Patriots because I think someone's going to reach for Sanders. I really do. I just think, I know the quarterback class is not that great, but we're still in the big 2025, man. These teams, they reach like hell for quarterbacks. So I wouldn't be stunned to see that. The other one I looked at, ESPN one, I think it was, had the Patriots picking, oh no, it was PFF. Had the Patriots picking Ted McMillan at 4. I am here to tell you that is not going to happen. 1,000% that's not going to happen. They're not going to pick Will Campbell, and they are not going to pick Ted McMillan out of Arizona. No chance. Not only do they not draft wide receivers that amount to anything, but Ted McMillan's draft stock is slipping. So we started kind of December when we knew the Patriots are going to be in the top 2 or 3. Of course, ironically, they're 4th. We started the Travis Hunter watch. And now, after all this circus, we're probably back to Travis Hunter watch, which is the guy that the Patriots, according to Karen Guregian, said they believe could be their wide receiver 1 and potentially cornerback 1. Of course, Christian Gonzalez is an all-pro and one of the very best in the league. But if you could have, and I know this sounds like compromising here, or putting a guy in a position where he's not going to shine as much. If you could have Travis Hunter as the nickel corner and playing some receiver, like that could be a very, very, very valuable asset for the Patriots and foundational for that defense. Of course, he's used to playing on the outside, but I think Travis Hunter can live in the slot. I think he's a little bit more physical than people give him credit for. And I think he can be a nickel corner for an aggressive defense like the Patriots could be putting out. Just my 2 cents anyway. I think on March 3rd, 2025, a month and a half before the draft, almost 2 months, I think the Patriots will have the option to pick Travis Hunter at number 4. And shit, man, they could even trade up. They could trade to 3. You know, if you're picking at 3, whether it's the Giants or the Titans, I guess maybe more so the Giants, you could say, yeah, well, I can get my quarterback at 4. And this will cost them a future pick to go up and get Travis Hunter. But really, we're thinking about quarterback. That could happen too. Either way, if the Patriots end up with Travis Hunter and not Will Campbell or Tet McMillan, I'm pretty good with that. Mason Graham, I'm also not, really anti, but then again, he's got some of the same issues that Will Campbell has, the measurables. So that is something you got to take into account. What you also have to take into account is that the Cam Show is live every day on YouTube at high noon Eastern time with fresh Boston sports content every day. And then it's available wherever you get your podcasts. So we appreciate you guys joining in. For Scotty Swingler, for Zach Burke, for Pete Souza, for all of us at Rogue Media Sports Network, I'm Cam Stewart. We will see you tomorrow on the little show we like to call The Cam Show.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit internext.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Sains, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit twosains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.